that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now, about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that light the way are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. I don't know how. 'Cause maybe, oh,
All right, welcome to the Short Vol Show today.
and after all,
Little Oasis cover here. And we're in a good mood today because of BYND, I suppose. Now, of course, you shouldn't be in a mood because of a stock one way or the other. Try to keep kind of neutral. But, yeah, BYND. You know, I left, I had to go somewhere yesterday away from my computer, which I hate to do. I like to just sit there and watch my screens. But I had to go away somewhere yesterday, and I was a little bit long BYND. I guess I was long like 45 deltas, which in a $200 stock is, you know, significant to me. And you can look at the position right here. If I pull up my Analyze tab and move out of the way here for a second, you can see coming in BYND, coming in long here a little bit. And like I said, I left yesterday and it was 197, and then by the time I looked at it again, it was 192, and I was like, ugh, I should, you know, I usually stay pretty flat, and I was like, ugh, I should have stayed flat. What am I doing? And I was gonna sell something before the close, but then I just left it, and sure enough, last I looked, it was like 196, and then I woke up this morning and it was like 197 bid. Now it's up to 203 bid. So hanging out here. And my position is kind of a hodgepodge right now. You see that I'm paying theta right now. What I did yesterday was I ended up buying the second week out options. Now, here's the situation with the options pricing in BYND right now is that the and we've got 5 minutes to the open, so I'm going to have to do a couple. I'm probably going to sell something right on the open here to flatten out my delta, so excuse me if I all of a sudden jump on and do something on the screen. But if we look at the options series here, the front week options, which expire in 3 days, the 26 July options, those options are not going to be around by the time earnings come out. So they are priced lower than the other earnings, and which makes sense because if you think about it, these options are not going to be around for the move in earnings. So they're way lower in price, or a little bit lower in price at least, than the second week out. The 2 August options are the ones that are going to be the closest to expiration when earnings actually come out. And so those are the ones that are really pumped up. So, but we have been moving ahead of earnings right here. So the July options have been valuable as well. Now, I came in yesterday with a short, basically just short this November strangle. I was short the November 110 puts and the November 235 calls. And it became apparent right away as we opened up, I think it was 20 points or 15 points, that I was getting closer and closer to that 235 strike. And so the first thing I did yesterday was I rolled my 230 calls in November up to the 255 and 270 strike. So rolled those calls away from quote unquote danger. And then I just started looking to actually start to cover my position because it seemed like that this thing was going to start to just run away to the upside. And so what I did was to cover as we move way up. First of all, what I did was I bought in my 110 puts in November. Now, volatility is expanding not only in the front month, but it's also expanding in November. And so I kind of had to be cagey about the way that I bought in these puts. And in fact, I was able to go in. The market on the screen was like 9 bid at 11, and I went in with just a 950 bid. 9 bid at 11, you would think you'd have to pay at least 10, but I went in 950 bid for a 1 or a 2 lot, and I actually got filled mid-market, which was a great fill for me. So as we went higher, I was trying to cover the 110 puts, although, like I said, volatility was kind of expanding, so couldn't really get great prices, so that was kind of frustrating. But and I could feel, as I felt the momentum of the stock just pulling and cranking higher, as we fade right at this moment, we just dropped a point. As I felt the momentum pull us higher, I actually did buy some of that August premium because I figure buying this 2nd August, anything in 2 August, which is that week. These are the options closest to expiration when earnings come out. I figured any of those options are going to hold up really well right until earnings come out. So these are like the most valuable options on the screen right now are the ones associated right with earnings. Now, I don't want to be long those when earnings comes out, but in the meantime, they're a valuable commodity. So I did buy some of these calls and sort of ride them up. And then I looked to cover some of my upside. Even though I'd rolled these November calls up, I still had this upside risk, and so I went in and actually bought a Nov 250 call. The thing that I had to deal with yesterday, which a lot of you know about dealing with, is pattern day trading rules. You can't do round trips or anything, and so once I had, you only can do 3 round trips in a 5-day rolling period. And so I had no more round trips to deal with. So once I had rolled up to the 255 strike on my short calls, I couldn't actually go back and buy them in because that would be another round trip, which I didn't have available to me. So I had to be more creative and buy another strike. Now, you shouldn't have a problem with round trips and options trading because there's so many different strikes you can pick from. You can just go in and pick another strike. There should never be a reason for you to get caught up in a pattern day trading rule. As an options trader, it's not like stock trading where you just have one stock to buy or sell. You've got so many different strikes that you can substitute one strike for another, and this is a way to avoid doing round trips on the same strike. Because if you use a different strike, it's not really a round trip. So as the open here, if you look at BYND, I'm still long this delta. I want to sell something here against it as we open up $9 because I really kind of need to flatten out my delta here. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Let's take a look as we continue to rally. It's like, where is the end of this rally? It's hard to say. So maybe I'll offer one of these calls that I'm long. I'm going to switch to the screen that shows exactly my position. So I'm going to offer one of these calls. They're 850 bid at 13. Maybe I'll offer one call at 12. See if I get filled. That's crazy, huh? So one call at 12. August 215. I think it's worth a try, right? And as it sort of settles down, see, I kind of want to make a move here and get out of some of my long delta a little bit at least. So that mark is 980 bid at 1180. So let's cancel replace down to so mid market is 980 now. So let's offer them at 1050. How about that? Or 1060. So one call at 1060. Filled on the one call at 1060. So that's good. All right, so 980 bid at 11:30. And should we try to sell one more call at 1060? So your buying power will be below 0. All right, so what I want to try to do is I want to try to... Anyway, so I flattened out a little bit there, folks, by selling one of these calls, which is good. And it's showing me my delta's flat now, so that helps out a lot. But the action continues in BYND, better to be lucky than good. And here I'm showing my delta. If I move the screen here, it shows my delta now long 6. So I went from long 40 to long 6. So that helps out a lot. And I'm going to continue to try to transform my position a little bit here. I'm short Vega, flat theta right now. So we'll continue to trade this as we move into the rest of the day. And hopefully you have good stuff with your positions right now as we follow on with BYND. We'll see if this continues to move higher or what happens with it. Thanks for watching, folks, and I will see you in the next one. Looks like a good sale at 10. What was that? What did I sell that call for? 1060? Monitor. 1060. I sold that August. What was it? August 215 call. Sold at 1060. The market's now 850 bid at 1070. So that was a good sale for the one lot, but just a one lot. As this moves around more and more, I will look to keep playing this BYND. It's very hard to do it though while I'm online. So I'm going to leave you and get back to trading. Hopefully you have a great day, and we're going to I'll come back with some earnings ideas in a little while. Thanks for watching. See you soon.